so we are going to look at principal component analysis representation of the results. Okay, so we'll start with the blank screen here. Okay, and we'll go back to, because the plugin actually sometimes it gets stuck. Okay, so it's better to have a blank screen whenever you are creating that visualization. Okay, and then you can take a screenshot of that later. All right, so I'm going to visualize this. Okay, and let me bring my data to full size here. Okay, so this is my graph here, right? And if I go back here again on the top, okay, I think I need to resize this graph here. Okay, so I'm gonna move it and resize it to a smaller one so that it fits my screen. Okay, and I'm able to make some changes. All right, so okay, so this is my chart area, right? And this is my data that comes with this PCA graph. Okay, so for that, I need to I'll delete this data. Okay, and I'll paste my own data here. Okay, I'm gonna get it back from this. Okay, so I have I'll just put the temporary cluster here, Control C, Control V. Okay, and then I will select my data here. Right, Control C here, results, and here. Okay, and then when my data is selected, I would click on reset data area. Okay, so here what it is doing is it is taking the first column here to be the labels, but we don't want that. Okay, so we'll move this temporary cluster column to the left hand side, Control X and Control V. Okay, now I need to select the data again and then reset data area. Okay, so if you see here now, we have these values for 1, 2, and 3, all the 3 clusters. Okay, and let me just increase this a bit so that I can have my representation of my 3 columns there. Okay, so for these 3 labels, 1, 2, and 3, we have our distribution of the clusters here. Okay, so we can also try to resize this to get that representation. All right, and we can use save image as, or we can take a screenshot. Okay, so I think it's gonna go down here. All right, okay, so we have the chart here for my representation of the 3 clusters using a PCA technique. So it has converted these 3 into 2, okay, using PCA, and then we have represented it using a scatter plot. Okay, so this shows me that my data is well categorized in clusters using the 3 temporary clusters using k-means. Okay, so now I can take a screenshot of this data or this chart here. Okay, and then I can include it in my result. Okay, and I can also change the color themes for these dots here. Okay, if I want a grayish one, okay, so I can change the color themes as well according to me. All right, and okay, so these are the things that we can do with D2, D3. All right, and when you want to delete this or remove this after taking a screenshot, you can click on I and then delete. Okay, so your area is free of that what do you say, the graphs. Okay, and then you can remove this and just insert both the images there. Okay, so if I insert the images from my data, okay, I just see the ones that I took today, this one and this one here, insert. Okay, so I need to do it one by one because it's coming on top of one. Okay, so this is my first graph here. I can insert the second one again. All right, picture from file, and then okay, so the first one I took it here. All right, so these are my 2 visualizations that I can use to represent my results. Okay, and then I can, if I want, I can write some explanation as well of those results. Okay, so this is how we can, this sums up our k-means for iteration 1, 2, and result. Okay, if you want